Hey everybody, welcome back to another Vortex Gallery TO interview. Today I'm here with Gyaru, who's going to be helping me out with Jackie Chan. That is Jackie
Yep.
Chan in Fists of Fire, no less. It is his game. And, well, if you never heard of this, you maybe watched our announcement show, maybe had a little bit of more questions than answers by that one, then we're going to talk about it today. So first of all, Gyaru, tell me how you doing tonight.
I'm doing good.
It's great. And, well, before I talk about the game, I guess we should talk about you. Just to introduce yourself. I know you've been around for a minute. Maybe people are not too familiar with you. I am. So why don't you introduce yourselves to our viewers?
Hello, I am Gyaru. I have been playing fighting games competitively since 2007, and I mainly stream a lot of really boomer fighting games that no one has ever heard of. So if it's super obscure on weird hardware like a PC 98 or something, I've probably played it.
Yeah, you love to see it. Okay, so let's talk about the game now. So there's this little game that we announced on our initial lineup called Jackie Chan in Fists of Fire. Now, that may sound like a lot to take in if you've never heard of this, but it is a arcade fighting game. It is actually a revision, I believe, of an arcade
Yep,
fighting game.
it is actually a more jank revision. Normally they don't with the revision they don't become more jank. This one it did.
All right, so you've got your expectations set there for you, um, but let's kind of talk about that. So on Twitter, people were kind of very happy to see this because there wasn't much talk about Jackie prior to people kind of getting into it via Fightcade, people exploring it, setting up, written
Mhm.
documentation about it. So like, how'd you get mixed up in this nonsense? Like what was that like
Well,
for
what
you?
got me into Jackie Chan specifically was Majin Obama randomly was streaming it for no reason way back. It was a couple years ago, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I just like, yo, this game looks sick. So I downloaded it, messed around with the character, and coincidentally, at around the same time, there was a tournament happening the following week.
Cool.
So I was like, you know what? I'll mess around. I entered the tournament. I met a lot of the people in the scene, and I thought the game was just really sick. I got a bunch of people into it. It's just very audacious. At this point, I was already into a lot of Kusoge. My main Kusoge at the time was TMNT Tournament Fighters,
Oh yeah.
and I just felt there was like a lot of similarity with how crazy that game is.
Okay. Okay, I see that. So you've been into it for a little while. I guess that's a good jump off point to get some perspective. I mean, like how has it been seeing more people get into this game? Like what does that look like? Cuz I mean, I've been kicking around the whole time that this was happening, of course, but it's kind of been off my radar. Uh However, clearly there is a demand and you're going to be out there to make it happen. So like what do you think about the community building for this game so far?
The community building has actually been like kind of crazy because I didn't expect to see like normally with like a really obscure poverty fighter, it's just
Mhm.
the same few people that you see around the scene. But when Bestaban with Hold Back to Block was like, "Hey, I'm interested in this game. I want to do a video on it." That was insane
Mhm.
because like it's a Jackie Chan fighting game. Most people have the same reaction of like, "Yo, that exists? That's nuts!" And then they see it in action, and it's like, "Oh my god, did this guy just do like a random super as soon as it said round start fight, and he won from it like
Yeah.
0 to 100 just like that?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm totally with you there. I guess like you said, like I think that's like you opened with. I think it's really important to mention like a lot of poverty scenes. Like there's a lot of us out there, multi game specialists out there, playing a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find the grime wherever it is. But um, I do want to know. I guess who's out there putting the work for Jackie right now. What's that TO scene look like? Like how's that working out for you guys?
So the main TOs for this game are myself, but I haven't done one in a minute. In a
Mm-hmm.
minute,
Mm-hmm.
Alex Alchemy, Conspiratorial, and Spabobin. Spabobin has been putting in crazy work. Most recently, he got Trolley, the candy company,
Yeah,
Trolley, to run a tournament for this game, and that was nuts. I
I
have
remember
never seen
that.
anything like that happen.
Yeah, I remember that. That was really cool. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, it's cool to kind of see like people rise up for this game in the online era, right? Like just
Hmm.
the nice thing about it is like there's very little commitment, right? Like they can just try it out. If it's not for them, they can just go about their day. If not,
Yeah,
then they can
and the
stick with
game
it.
is really easy too.
It's
Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
very
sorry.
very easy to stick with. I was gonna ask you specifically about that. Um, like
Like
the name itself, I think evokes a lot of expectations. Like, oh, Jackie Chan, what's
it's
he doing,
not that
right?
hard,
But like, what is
surprisingly.
it? What kind of game are we talking about here? If you don't know what
So
we're talking about, like, give it to me.
so it's kind of like a Street Fighter game, sort of
Okay.
like the basics, but okay, it has auto combos. I want to put this out first. It has auto
I actually had no
combos, and
idea.
this game
Wow.
was made in 1995. You can hit light, and you will get an auto combo, a unique string too.
Hmm.
Every character has at least two strings. Like one is the auto combo, and the other is like a character unique, like Mortal Kombat style string or Tekken style
That's
string.
actually cool. I've never heard of that. I've seen footage of the game. I've just never even knew that was existed. Okay, that's
Yeah, because I mean, for a lot of characters, they're not good, and other characters just like their basic tools
right,
are,
right,
are
right.
better. But it's like a starting off point. It's a jumping off point. Like you have a basic combo. If you land a crouching jab, you can just mash A.
Right, right. And you mentioned like there's a lot of high damage going on here. That part I do
Yeah,
know about.
like an unoptimized random jump in will do 60%, like easily with
So
just about
hopefully,
any character.
we'll all make it to we'll all finish the bracket by lunchtime, maybe if we're doing it in the morning,
I
or
mean,
who knows, right?
probably.
Yeah.
They're
So
these are 30-second rounds. These are thirty
I
second. Yeah.
yeah, I actually really like games that embrace that kind of chaos because it's like a different kind of thing altogether, right? Like it places some very different priorities on the player. Like just
Yeah.
doing stupid stuff at round start just to see if it works. Just gambling like that is really uh interesting, I think. You mentioned just to circle back around to TOs, like this is a game I guess we could just firmly say it's one of those that like grew a scene in net play, and now we're trying to see, you know, what that looks like for offline. So we're taking it
Yeah,
out to
pretty
Evo,
much.
exposing it to so many people who've never heard of this in their lives. They're gonna see what it's like. They're gonna have a look around, watch some matches,
Yeah,
play
the
some
goal.
casuals, and it's like how do you feel about that? What do you think? What kind of expectations do you have? I guess.
The goal is to get it on stage so a bunch of people can just witness the game. Like that's my goal, honestly, when I talk about it, is just look at the game. Upon first glance, people are like, "Wow, this game is crazy," and that's Jackie Chan on stage doing an infinite. Like,
Yeah.
it's very surreal. Um, my expectations though, like I just want people to check out the game and think it's sick. It's actually going to be a first for two different things. It's going to be the first offline for the game, and it might be the first major ran entirely on Steam Deck. Because
Oh, okay.
I've been doing research on it. It's just the backup though. Obviously, we have a laptop just in case shit
Yeah, of
doesn't work
course.
out with it. But me and a couple other people have been doing like research into how getting like a splitter to work without lag, like an HDMI splitter for the thing, and we have found one that doesn't really have input lag.
Oh,
And
okay.
Fightcade runs perfectly on it without input lag, like just exactly as if you're running it on your computer.
Okay. That's cool. I had no idea. Yeah, I
Yeah.
look forward to that. Like that's gonna be a really interesting little clip. I'm sure if people record like the setup and just kind of see how you guys have it put together.
Hmm.
I will say I think retro events are no stranger to like you know doing
Weird setups.
doing weird
Yeah.
setups to try to improve things, super guns and Mister and all that stuff. Like that realm of exploring hardware, I think is neat and unusual and definitely unique to the kind of thing that we're talking about here. I guess we're talking more generally. Have you done a lot of TO work prior to working with Jackie Chan, or is that just kind of like because you mentioned you've been
I
doing
have
things
done
since
a
'07? So
few.
like, talk to me. Like, what does that look like for you in the past?
So in the past, it was mainly just stuff locally, and it was more so for main games and 3D games. Because outside of Kusoge, I play mostly 3D fighters, a lot of Soul
Mm-hmm.
Calibur, Virtua Fighter, a bit of DOA here and there. But
Okay.
it was mainly just stuff for locals. I didn't start TOing very often until I got into the VTuber community, where I started doing VTuber events,
Yes.
mostly for the main titles like Strive, Plus R a couple times, And I've been working with another VTuber called Sorina Penguina, and I've been helping her TO some stuff
Shout
on the
outs.
side, just for when there's big signups, when there's big brackets, stuff like that.
Yeah,
And Jackie Chan just kind of fell into place amongst all of that.
yeah, I totally see it. I mean, I guess, I mean, I'm right there with you with the VTuber FGC tournaments and stuff, but like it is interesting, I guess, to see that you've adapted towards helping out with the community, just kind of taking part in, I guess, the collective retro scene that exists now with these online platforms. So, just really looking forward to seeing what that looks like offline at Evo. You are going to be with us there, so it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
cool and experimental and absolutely the kind of stuff that we want to run. I don't know if you have any I guess statements to make about kind of Jackie Chan at Evo. Like, do you have any closing thoughts about that? Anything that you feel you need to say about this event going out there?
Okay, so there's three gods of Jackie Chan that everyone accepts. Like these guys are the best players. I have a list of five, and I know at least one of them is guaranteed to be in attendance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of them. They haven't signed up yet, but I know they're going to Evo, so they
Okay.
probably will be in the bracket, and you'll see them. There's a couple of the other gods that can't make it, but there's the other two are like, yeah, we're trying to go, we're gonna be there. So you guys are gonna see some crazy stuff.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, because I mean, it's like I normally ask like, what do you expect from the players? But it's like I don't know. I mean, it's hard to have any expectations for this, right? Like I don't know. Do you have anything that you think is
There are
like?
players that I think will do well, but if someone just picks up this game like before Evo, I have no expectations. Someone I taught the game, like only the basics of the game. I saw them at the trolley tournament doing crazy stuff with Thorsten. I'm like, oh my god, this game is not that hard to pick up and get into, and you can get away with like some gnarly stuff. Like
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
list of top players for this game, and I saw myself on there, and I'm like, all I do is random jump ins and do like 70% of your life if I get a hit. Like, all right.
Yeah, I am with you there. Yeah, I mean, like this is gonna be one of those I think surprises everybody. Who knows where people are gonna come from? Who knows what it's gonna look like? But hey, I'm all for it, and really look forward to hanging out with you and the rest over at Evo this year. Again, guys, registration is open at start.gg/Vortex Gallery. All information at vortexgallery.moe. And well, that's gonna be it from us. Some last minute goodbyes, and we'll be back with more interviews very soon. See you guys next time.
See ya.